Good morning, all of you, students. Today our topic is about state chart diagrams. So the previous class we were learning about state machines. So have you remembered what is a state machine? State machine. Okay. It gives the behavior of a particular state in its lifetime. But whereas a state chart diagram is nothing but it's all about state machines and how the flow control is transferred from one state to another. So that is showed in the state chart diagrams. Okay. So and these state chart diagrams are a kind of activity diagrams only. Why? Because in activity diagrams also we are showing the states as activity or action states. Okay. So there the flow control is between action or activity states. Whereas state chart diagrams, the flow control is from one state to another. Okay. So whereas in activity, though they are states, they will be about activity or action states. But here the states are, in state chart diagrams, what are the states? State machines. State machine is nothing but at that point of time, what is its behavior in its lifetime. Okay. So that is what about the state machine and the basic definitions of today's chapter to proceed with. Okay. So let's see an example. So this is a state chart diagram what we are seeing. I hope the same thing we have studied already in state machines chapter. Okay. So here this is an example of heater or a geyser daily what we use at our home. Okay. So usually that machine will be in the stop state, ideal state always. Yes or no? When we want to use, when we on the switch, that is the initiation of that machine. Okay. So that initiation will show by using initial state. Okay. By initializing, by on the switch. So whichever was the ideal state will be sent to see, this is not the example of the heater, but we were studying about the heater one. First let me tell you that example and then we'll relate with this. Okay. So it will be maintained, and when the switch is on, how it is, when the switch is continuously on, how it is maintained, and you on the switch and off the switch, how it is maintained. That is what we have learnt about different situations in state chart chapter. But here we were talking something very much related to that. But here we are talking about the different states of ideal and transmitting. Okay, so a device where you have ideal and transmitting, send fax. Okay, so maybe about fax machine say. So initially it will be ideal. When it is on, that is the initial state. And once the ideal state is given some event triggering, applying some action on that. So then what action you want to perform, that can be transmitted. Okay, transmitting, that is the state there. Okay, this ideal state will be into a receiving state. The ideal state will be changed into receiving state by getting the message as ringing. Okay, maybe with some noise. So this ideal state is converted to receiving state. So the fax machine, if we are receiving some document from others, okay, so that is the state what we can say. So in the receiving, what we have to do, first of all, so receiving state of the fax machine, so when it will be started receiving, so this state we call it as composite state. Why? Because the receiving state is now decomposed into substates. Okay, so that's why it is called as composite state. and the substates within this receiving state, they are in the sequential order. So sequential substates we say. Okay, so when exactly this receiving state is initialized, so that is why we are giving the initial point here. So when the devices are connected, okay, when they are connected, header, okay, so then whatever the facts we get to our machine, so that will be processed and it will be taken. Okay, so when exactly this state is going to be activated? When it is entry, when we pick up, and when it is exit, when we disconnect. Okay, so since the subdivision of this state is given here, this state we call it as composite state. And whatever the actions are performed, so these are the nested states or substates we say. And the message on which one state is converted to another, we call them as events triggered. And what are the actions performed when it is entered and when it is exited. Okay, sometimes the error also may occur because of some problem. Okay, so that states also we are specifying here, and we can give the error report. So that is the action. Say suppose something like exception handling, which will have in rare cases. So that is what the exception handling also we are showing in terms of state chart diagrams. Okay, and this may sometimes hang up. So keep on waiting hours together, still we don't get a document. So that can be one problem. Okay, sometimes there may be some power fluctuations or the transmission problem. So anything can happen. So that will be a error report there. Okay, if everything goes on well, so easily as soon as you connect and whatever the document you need, so that will be processed and you can take the print of it. And that machine have to be transmitted. So this should be maintained. Okay, so the same example we were studying with the two other examples in the previous class. So one is about the geyser one, and the other one we were learning about ATM machine, if you remember. So in ATM machine, what was the example here? Idle, and the maintenance of it is done. And here, as soon as you insert your card, what will happen here? Active state. So the validation of the card and then processing. Okay, so by giving guard conditions. So that was the examples what we have learned. The same examples you can take for state chart diagrams. Okay, so this is the introductory part of today's chapter, state chart diagrams. So let's see the details of those. So terminology, terms and concepts of this chapter, the first part. So again we come across all the definitions in the terminology. State chart diagram shows, so what exactly are the things what we have here? In a state chart diagram we have state machines, which shows the flow control from one state to another. So that is what we are talking about, the definition of state chart diagram. And a state machine, so state machine means we are talking with respect to one state here. That is a state machine. Okay, which gives the some behavior, that specifies in its lifetime at one state, that is the state of that object, which undergoes through its lifetime, and that state may be because of the message sent to that or action performed on that. So based on that, that state machine will be existing at that point of time in its life cycle. So that thing we call it as state machine. And such state machines showing the flow, that we call state chart diagram. Okay, and then moving on to the details of the basic definitions. State, a state is nothing but a condition or a situation in life of an object. So I was telling you an example of yours. So what is your current state now? Being a student in your lifetime, maybe for next 1 year or so. Okay, so that's what we call the state. Okay, and this state, they can be action state or activity state. Activity is nothing but which is performed in some duration of time, in some significant point of time. Construction of a building, something we can say. Whereas action insignificant of time, within no time that action will be done, and which cannot be decomposed. So all those details we were studying under activity diagram. Okay, and then what is the event? Specification of significant occurrence that has a location in time and space. Okay, I was telling you an example of the IT event or IT fest what we have conducted. So we give time, date, no? So that is what we say, the time, and space means maybe from morning 9 to 4 we say, no? So that is a space that event is occupying. Okay, so that's how we give the definition for an event. Okay, and then the next definition is transition. So many times I was emphasizing on this. So the flow control transferred from one activity or action state to another activity or action state in object activity diagrams, that we call transition. Similarly, even in state chart diagrams we have states only, no? States, in other terms we call it as state machines. So the flow control which is transferred from one state machine to another state machine, that linking two states, we give that using a transition. And when you write these concepts, you have to focus on the terminology of the subject. If you write in general, then it will be vague. Okay, so try to learn the correct terminology of the subject. So when the connection between two objects, we say it as a link. The connection between two states, we call it as a transition. Okay, and then activity and action states. So this is what I was just talking about. So activity in significant time and which can be decomposed. So the construction of a building can be taken in the subparts, right? So the foundation, then pillars, so like that it can take the different subparts to construct the entire building. But whereas action, okay, so which will be in insignificant time and which is atomic. Atomic means further it cannot be decomposed. It's already there in the simple form, which is not complex. It's at the lower level, still it cannot decompose. It's in the simple form. Okay, so these are the different definitions or what are there in the today's topic. Okay, and then state chart diagrams is nothing but, so graphically how we can show the state chart diagrams, it's nothing but vertices and arcs only. In general we say a diagram is a connected graph with vertices and arcs, and whatever are vertices here, state machines, and whatever are arcs are nothing but transitions. Okay, so this is the terminology introduction, terms and concepts. First one, and moving on to the second one, we have about common uses. So where exactly the state chart diagrams are used? So these are used, so uses we'll see later. So common properties. So what are the common properties of any diagram? What we say, by seeing its contents, how it can be distinguished from other diagrams, and this diagram is whether a static diagram or a dynamic diagram. And as we know, state chart diagrams are nothing but dynamic diagrams or behavioral diagrams, which is one among the 5 behavioral diagrams, which gives the behavior of the system. Okay, so and how it is distinguished from other diagrams? It is distinguished from other diagrams by seeing its content. By seeing its content, what exactly you are able to visualize, you are able to see in the diagram. So that itself, by seeing that you can differentiate. So what are the contents? So as we have just seen the state chart diagram, so what are all the things you can see here in this diagram? We have states, so these are the simple states what we say, which cannot be decomposed, and you have composite states, And then we have transitions, and these transitions may be either a event or a message or an action. Okay, so these are the actions, these are the events, and it can be sometime a message also. Okay, so this transition can happen because of a message or an event or an action. Okay, so these are all the different parts or contents of state chart diagram. So that is what we were learning here. So the contents of these diagrams are simple states, the first one what I was telling you, and composite state, the state which is getting subdivided, and then the links we call it as the connection of two states, we call it as transitions, and including events and actions, what kind of transition, why that action is performed. Okay, by transferring the control from one state to another is based on what? So that is based on actions, events. Okay, so these things we can say the contents of state chart diagram. Okay, so the contents of the state chart diagram may also have the different parts of what we have learnt in the activity diagrams. The ones which like branching, forking, joining, action states, activity states, initial states, final states, history states. Okay, so these are all the things what forks and joins we have learnt in activity diagrams, whereas history states and all we have learnt in state machines chapter. Okay, so in other term, I can say state chart diagram is one kind of activity diagram only. Okay, because in both the things states are used. In both the things flow control is used. But what's the difference? There the flow control is among the states, but here the flow control is among the state machines. And here we talk state chart diagram only with respect to a single object. In a life cycle of a particular object, what are all the different states it's undergoing? That is what we show in the state chart diagram. That is the main difference. Okay, but other things are the same. Okay, the states and the control what you are transferring, which we call it as transition. Okay, whether branching or forking or talking about action activity states, initial and final states. So there are some common terms between state chart diagrams and activity diagrams. But in what way they differ, you have to learn them keenly or you have to emphasize them, which I was just telling you now. Okay, so for a complete life cycle of a single object is state chart diagram. But whereas activity, maybe it may be for the entire business, or maybe one flow control, or maybe multiple flow controls, what we show in the swim lanes. So that's how we can talk about the activity diagrams. Okay, so moving on to the next one about common uses. So this is the third one under terminology. So where exactly we are going to use this state chart diagrams? We use this to model reactive objects. Okay, so we know what are the objects. So let's see reactive objects. Active objects are nothing but the objects which are under execution, or the objects which are involved in any process or a thread. We call it as active objects. And what is reactive? Reactive, the ones which are idle, can be made as active by performing some initiation to that by giving a message. Okay, so then that can be activated to do the task. So such things we call it as reactive objects. Okay, so let's see the definition of this. A reactive object is a one, or we call this reactive object as event driven object, whose behavior is best characterized by its responses to events dispatched from outside of its context. Okay, so usually we say it as a ideal state. So based on the initiation given to that state, so it is going to activate and what it is going to perform. Okay, so that is what about the reactive object, and it is typically idle. Okay, so this is the point I was stressing. So initially it will be idle until it reaches an event, and once it reaches an event, it is going to respond accordingly based on the previous event what the state is transferring to the current state. And if at all any responses, so that will be taken care. It becomes idle again sometimes based on the event passed to it, or it may be into waiting state. Control will be transferred to the next state as by waiting. Okay, so when we are talking about reactive objects, so these are the 3 points what we have to remember or what we can emphasize on. So first thing, these are the stable states of the object, ideal state we can say, and what event you are going to perform on that state. Okay, so triggering means action. Okay, events that trigger an action from the current state to the next state or the previous state to the current state. Okay, and based on the actions, what exactly it is happening to the current state. Okay, actions that occur on each state change. Okay, so that is what we were talking about reactive objects. So only one use is there. So is that clear? Just one of you confirm. Is that reactive objects clear? Prior terminology already it's done and I hope everyone can follow. But reactive objects, is it okay? Or you want me to repeat? Yes, one of you respond. Hello?
Yeah, ma'am.
Reactive objects.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, just remember that it's a ideal object. Based on the event or action performed on that, it is going to do its accordingly. So that is what you have to remember about reactive objects. That is the only one common use. And moving on to the second part of this chapter, that is about common modeling techniques. And many times I told you whatever the use we come across under the uses, the same thing we'll talk under common modeling techniques also. That is about modeling reactive objects. Okay, so in order to model a reactive object, so based on the context of the state machine, or whether it may be a class or a use case or a system as a whole. Okay, so you should be able to capture what is the context of the reactive object, and you have to think of what are the initial and final states of that object, and by considering the different conditions, and the meaningful partial ordering of stable states. Stable means ideal states within the life cycle of that object. Okay, and what events can be applied or triggered on that transition in order to transform from one state to other, and attach actions which have to be performed along with that transition to the current state. And then we can talk about simple states, sub-states, their branching, forking, the history of states also can be considered when we are taking care of reactive objects. Okay, and check all whether all the states are reachable under some combination of events. Sometimes there may be some states which may not be reachable. So in that case we may say error message, or we can say exception handling there in graphical representations only. Okay, so no state is dead from which combination of events will be transferred object out of that state. Okay, and using the tools we can perform the responses, sequence of events and their responses. Okay, so here there is some example given here. So the example here is the system that streams in or streams out messages to XML. So this is some code which is done internally in XML in order to activate or deactivate the state. So based on some conditions it's giving. So if you can visualize this diagram. So what are the different states here? Waiting state, getting token state, getting body state. Okay. So waiting state will check on some condition until it is less than, it keeps on waiting. And once it becomes less than, so the transition is forward to getting token and it will be checked. And once it becomes greater than, the control is transferred to the next state, that is getting body. Okay, and this also will have self check. And once until it becomes equal to maybe some flag they have set as semicolon, so then it is going to move back to the waiting state. So these are the three states what we have. Okay, so waiting state, we can say it's not idle, but the ones which is maintained. Okay, which is not doing any activity, but it's waiting state. So example of ATM machine, if you see the machine is maintained there, it's waiting. If some customer comes, then they can use the system, okay, in order to do their transactions. If not, idle means it's totally shut down. Nobody can use that, it's not working. Okay, so that is the difference between idle and waiting state. The waiting one have to be maintained. Okay. So here, this is the example given. And when we move on to the third part of this diagram, so every diagram chapter you will have three parts. Terms and concepts, first one. Second one you will have common modeling techniques, and third one you will have forward and reverse engineering. Okay, but whereas other chapters you have only first two. Okay. So in forward and reverse engineering, so forward engineering is nothing but creation of code from model or from the existing diagram, whatever the diagram we are drawing, graphical representation of the logical things, whatever we are talking, what exactly is happening within the system. When we are able to show in the diagram, that is called as a model. So using some tools, that model can be converted to some abstract code. That process of converting a model into code, we call it as forward engineering. Okay, so if you just see the example here, so the same example, if this diagram we call it as a model, and when we forward engineer that, okay, so here we are talking about states, right? So for the switch case we can pass the parameter as state. So if you just see imagine the diagram, whatever the model, whatever we are talking about till now. So it is about the message passer. Okay, and these are the initial things, and we are giving switch and the parameter is state. So what are the different states we have come across? Waiting state, getting token state, getting body state. Okay, so and when we come across waiting state, so case waiting. So when it is equal, so what exactly it has to perform, what is its state and what is the token given to that and what is the body. Okay, so that is what we are performing. Waiting state, what is the token given and what is the condition satisfying there, and how the control is passed to the next one. So that is the block of waiting state. So similarly we have the next state as getting token state. So when some C value is equal to greater than sign, so then state is nothing but getting body. Okay, so from getting token to, so it is going to give the state to getting body. If not, it is just going to append from the current state to the next one and it will break the loop. Okay, So moving on to the third state. So it is the same like whatever the first two states we were talking. Okay. And these are about the tokens, get body, get token, get body, and the initial ones, the static ones. As I was telling you about, whenever you do forward engineering, you are going to get the abstract methods of it. Okay. So, and here we are giving the static method. So, by giving some values to each state, so that is what the further coding is done for the model. So, that is given in the forward engineering. But whereas if you talk about reverse engineering, reverse is something from whatever the code we have, we should be able to get back our model. Say suppose the code whatever we have seen till now, if that is the code existing, from that if at all we have to build the model means, it's not maybe partially or some outline you may get. Why? Because these are the things which are happening internally dynamically based on the time and how one state is changed onto the other state. Theoretically it is possible, but practically it's not very useful and we may not construct completely also. Okay, why? The behavioral aspects may not be shown as the static ones. Okay. And in order to do forward and reverse engineering, the tools whatever we have, so using those we can do. But even these tools have sometimes may have some limitations based on the versions what we are using. Okay, they may have no capacity of abstraction. Okay, they may not exactly get what that state is meant in the behavioral diagrams, behavioral code, whatever it is meant there, that you may not show directly into the model. That is why we are saying reverse engineering is not that practically completely done and it's not that useful also. Okay, and cannot automatically produce meaningful state chart diagrams. Okay, so this is the point what I was emphasizing. So completely you cannot get back the code, maybe the partially or outline of it you may get. Okay, so this is the topic what I wanted to do today. That is about state chart diagrams.